Hi everyone. Hello sir. This is Priya from Eduinx. Uh, Sanjana, are you there?
Yes, Priya.
Okay. So I request everyone to turn on your video. Everyone, kindly turn on your video. Okay. Sanjana, please take over.
Sure, Priya. Thank you. So, good evening, everyone. It's my great pleasure to warmly welcome Sheikh Abdul Khadar to today's guest talk. Mr. Sheikh Abdul Khadar is a highly experienced business leader and transformation expert with more than 30 years of experience in strategy, supply chain management, manufacturing excellence, and digital transformation. As the founder and CEO of Data Labs India and Flu Strategy, he has helped many organizations achieve growth through innovation, strong execution, and operational excellence. His vast industry experience across India, the Middle East, and the USA, along with his passion for helping organizations become future ready, makes him an inspiring leader and speaker. We are truly honored to have him with us today to share his valuable insights, experience, and knowledge. I'm sure the session will be very informative and inspiring for all of us. On behalf of everyone present here, I extend a warm welcome to you, sir, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Sanjana. Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Shall we wait for a couple of minutes to somebody join, or what do you advise? Or shall we go ahead?
So please start it, sir.
Okay. So, good evening, uh, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody is from India. Somebody is from outside.
Yes.
Morning, good afternoon. So, thank you. First of all, I would like to thank you, thank Eduinx for the opportunity. So I will be very happy to share my experiences and knowledge in this domain. Thank you very much. Okay, so let us start the session. Please feel free if you have any questions. So I hope the overall session will be around 45 minutes or so. So I'll try to give my insights around 30-35 minutes. Then you can have open questions and we can take it up. It's all up to you. Okay. So let me share my screen. Yeah, if you're able to see the screen, just please confirm.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So today we are going to talk about AI for manufacturing and supply chain organizations, a leader's guide for the value and implementation. So there are several technology articles, lectures you might be coming across. So today I will try to brief you what really a business leader should think and act for the technology. So that's a missing link what I would like to comment. So I hope all of you are working professionals and in different domains. So please feel free if you have any questions here. So this is a brief. Thank you, Sanjana, for introducing me. So you already introduced. So you have my contact details here, just in case like to take a picture of this or whatever. Please take it up. I just before the session, I was just reading World Economic Forum risk report for 2026, just before the call, before the session. So I see, okay, why not I share some couple of insights on the global risk landscape. So for 2026, so these are the top 10 risks by the survey. So geo-economic confrontation, state-based armed conflict, and some other things like weather events kind of thing. So what it does is there is a lot of risks I keep seeing this global risk index every year. So last year it was completely different. So this year it's completely different. These two are new ones which came all of a sudden. Okay. So when you take into segments, so if you see these are the top risk things, risk indicators. If we talk about private sector, you see geo-economic confrontation, misinformation and disinformation, societal polarization. You see what I see is these are the completely different kind of risks. So it's now becoming very uncertain what is going to come in next 3 months, 6 months. Nobody knows. Okay, so what does that make impact on the manufacturing and supply chain? That is something which we will discuss. Okay. So today's agenda is basically a strategic imperative. AI demystified key technology land for leaders. So high impact applications. So and then how the leader should take up these initiatives. So then the roadmap. So I would like to start with this. So why does, apart from the risks what you have just seen, so what are the other things what we have? If you summarize them on top 5, so geopolitical disruptions. So if you see this map, I was just published an article just a while ago about global oil and gas supply chain. Okay, so if you see my cursor, so here you have both straits and then a Suez Canal, all of this together, and then we have, and then there is another strait here. Okay, of course, this strait does not having any problem at the moment. Now, complete world economy have been changed because of this. Okay, so Strait of Hormuz, Bab al Mandi, and then we have a Strait of Malacca. So in near Malaysia. So this is really controlling the global economy. Complete supply chains are disturbed because of this. Okay, so demand volatility, sustainability, and then these two are very important. Rising customer expectations, and then talent shortage. So a very serious shortage in the talent to manage the global supply chains and manufacturing. Of course, with the technology, I can say that the talent shortage is very heavy. Okay. With the current existing skills, you cannot really meet the needs of the future uncertainty. That is something which is very crucial. Okay. So what is it current traditional tools, like whatever, in general, in a basic terminologies, when you talk about, so legacy systems are siloed, that means the departmental wise, spreadsheets are fragile, and then human intuitions does not scale. Okay, so what we need at this point of time when we talk about technology is we need proactive, predictive, and adaptive systems. That's just to make it very simple, very high level. Okay, so if you ask me what are the 3 or 4 horizons a company should look for as a strategy, is earlier we were talking about efficiency and responsiveness. These are the 2 key things we were talking about. Okay, so efficiency means low cost, responsive, agile supply chains or agile manufacturing or whatever. So with all these new trends, we are getting resilience is one of the most important horizon or a parameter. So every company needs to really look into it, adopt it. So resilience is one of the key component of the strategy. And then innovation. With all these trends going on, technology and everything, so you need to be really innovative in whatever business, whatever manufacturing, whatever supply chain activities you do, you need to. So these are the 4 key components of your strategic levers. Okay. So before we talk about manufacturing and supply chain, I would like to talk about strategy itself. So when you have an organization, so if any organization wants to plan their business, so what they will do is they will do the strategy analysis. Strategy analysis means external analysis, what is going on outside, internal, what is company can do it, and what is how to formulate your strategy. That means what is it, your value, what is a value proposition for your products or services you're going to give it to your customer. So this is your strategy formulation. A simple example is if you would like to start a restaurant business, so what is your target customer? So is it a mid-size, is it a formal diner, or is it like a fast food kind of restaurant chain? So you need to really know what you are going to add value and who is your customer. So this is the strategic formulation. If you want to execute your strategies, you need to align the whole organization, whether it is the sales, procurement, manufacturing. Okay, so everything, the people, processes, systems, and capabilities, everything should be aligned. Okay, it looks very simple, very easy to understand, but it is not the real case. Okay? So there is almost always organizational misalignments because of various reasons that we can talk sometime. Okay. And then you execute strategy. So whatever you have formulated, that has to be translated and executed. Okay. So this is where the major problem comes. So planning is 2%. All this is 2%. This is 98%. So execution, that means whatever you have planned, we need to execute it. Almost we are all, as a human beings, better planners. But when it comes to execution, we always have a problem. Okay. So I just tell what is going on with AI in strategy is in strategy management, primarily it's a traditional approach is you do this analysis, then you set up the structure for the periodic reviews kind of thing. Then you execute. Like for example, every year we do, even in the government of India, we do annual budget. We agree what we are going to do for the whole year and then execute. Okay. So AI enables you complete different approach to the strategy because it gives you directly what is market sensing, competitor monitoring, and other details. So you don't need really a periodic culture in the strategy. So it's like a continuous. So it's a big change, but how that affect the organizations, we have to see. Similarly, when you talk to strategy formulation, so we usually used to plan 3 to 5 years, but now this is now very repetitive, very recursive, and we have to be very agile in making strategy formulations. You cannot have 3 to 5 years plan. Okay, so you need to be very pragmatic, and then I will keep updating your strategies very continuously, considering all the parameters. Okay, so execution. So it's a monthly reviews. Now, artificial intelligence will give you the data availability at any given point of. So it's always like a monitored regularly without a periodic setup. So when you talk about performance metrics, it's a monthly, quarterly, yearly. But now with AI, I think what it will happen is at any given time we know what is the performance. Okay. So likewise, this is the strategy management part. Now we come to our key topic. But the next slide, what I'm going to show is very important. So if you understand this one slide, that is the value for you for this session. Okay. So this is very heavy. You can just look at it. Basically, when you talk about AI, everybody talks about what? Everybody talks about ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Gemini. Okay, so how to write emails, how to write a PowerPoint presentation, all these things, right? So just let me know, you can speak. Okay. So, but when we talk about technology, AI and other technologies, this is only one part of it. Okay. So as a leader, okay, so you need to really know what is a technology landscape you have, which can create a better strategy for you, and then better value proposition for your teams. Okay. So here, let us review what it is. So we're talking about here the predictive intelligence. So basically, whether you use the machine learning or whatever models. So basically, what is going to happen next? 3 months to 6 months, like demand forecasting kind of thing. So prediction. So what you do usually is, so demand forecasting, predictive maintenance, supplier risk scoring. These are some of it. Okay. So you as an organization, when I am using AI as a technology, where I want to use it. So one area very important is first thing you should do is predictive intelligence. So this is what you should do. Okay. The second is when you are talking about manufacturing and supply chain, it's almost always physical, right? It's not only verbal or something. It's a physical. So computer vision is one of the very important segment technology where you use it for your value creation. Okay, so AI view is computer vision. Basically, when you talk about, so how does that algorithm interpret visual data and support you to solve the complex problems? For example, so we have solutions like warehouse management, manufacturing, execution. So one of the key problem in the warehouse management is how the people move in the warehouse, what is the put away and picking processes, what is the time is wasted in the warehouse, or it's the same in the manufacturing. So what is the movement of people or machines or whatever materials? So where you are creating cluster, and then where you are creating a problem. Okay, so all these things very simple. A simple CCTV integration can lead to, with the computer vision, you can lead to give a fantastic outcome. So you can know exactly what is going on. Even footprints also can be measured. So you might be learning this in your courses and all. Okay. Third thing is robotics. This is the area where already in Indian manufacturing companies already they have started automating, introducing robots at the key manufacturing stages or work centers, whatever you call. Okay, so autonomous optimization. This is introduce robotics, intelligent automation. So you can eliminate some manual work and then increase the efficiency. Okay, so this is one technology, and then of course generative AI and Copilot, which everybody understand this. Okay, so how does that LLMs can do that? So there is a problem here. If you want to use your data, how can you use your LLMs? Because it is your data may be going to public, so you need to have a local LLM. So in your server, you need to create local LLMs so that you can use your organization data to generate uh, proper recommendations from AI. Okay. So this is, I will talk about more technology is required. Okay, so if you have any questions, please let me know. Then the digital twin. Now, everybody don't have time or don't have luxury to relax and take decisions later. Now we need to know exactly what is going on there and then. This is very important. So this is the digital twin. I'll show you one example. This is the digital twin where you need to know exactly what is going on in your shop floor. So what is the inventory in the shop floor, in your warehouse? What is your capacity available? What is the stock available? What is the expired products available? So all the things, you need to have a visibility very clearly, and then also you need to take actions. So these are the 5 top technologies a manufacturing and supply chain executive should really understand. Okay, it's not only one part of it. You should look into this all 5 technology landscape, and then decide what is your strategy. Okay, can you anybody answer? Can anybody give an answer that what is it required for this as a prerequisite? So what is the prerequisite for all this? So this is okay. If you please feel free to have a word.
Think data.
Yeah. So if you want to do all these information, you need to have a proper data architecture. If you don't have data architecture, you are building everything in a wrong foundation. What happens if your foundation is not strong? Then you are building five-story building or 5-story complex or whatever. Then what happens? First of all, it's very risky. Okay, even if you construct, it will not stay for long. And then if it has a problem, it will be a bigger problem. So the bottom, the foundation is if you are able to see it, AI and data platform. So for that, whatever data required, that has to be in a digital form. Okay. So what is happening in India? If everybody is from India, I'll take use case of India. So India, by typically, assembly manufacturing country. Okay, the core parts are imported. Some parts are manufactured here also, but 60, maybe 65% of Indian manufacturing is assembly. Okay, that means you do all the assembly, you collect all the procurement raw materials from various suppliers and do assembly. Okay, when you do that, so majority, I have at least visited 500 to 600 companies at least in last maybe 6 years, 7 years in India. Okay, so still the technology is seen as an expense. Still the technology companies are not seeing as an investment. But if they want to buy a new machine, they consider this as an investment. But if they want to invest in the process and the technology, they consider this as an expense. Okay, so always they look for very cheaper technology, very low cost implementation. So what happens is, if you want a world-class results and you don't invest in the processes and the technology, what happens? It's not possible. Okay, so even the vendors, whoever is the consultants, whoever they're going to do, it's not possible. That culture is definitely there. There is no question about it. On top of it, now with the AI came, AI in the AI wave, you don't have data. Now you want to venture into AI. Okay, at least, this AI wave has created some awareness in the manufacturing and supply chain sector that they need to have data. Without data, they cannot do. So that is something, um, uh, something benefit this AI wave, whatever we call. Okay, so when you talk about capabilities, AI data, so there are various systems in place, like you have ERP in place, you have warehouse management, transportation, CRM. So usually companies buy in bits and pieces. There is no proper integration of the data structures. So when you are going into the leadership journey, build the proper architecture, invest on it. This is your foundation. Then you build whatever you want. So any question in this? Because this is very important slide, because everything follow with this. Okay. You can ask the question at any time, no problem. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Good. Okay. So now I just put the same thing here. Okay, I'll skip this slide. If the data is not correct, garbage in and garbage out. So if your data is not correct, it's a problem. Okay, so I have multiple things like a digital factory and all. If your foundation data is not proper, then you have a bigger problem. Okay. Now whatever you generate the data, that is likely that it will end up into a problem. Now I would like to brief one important part, since we talk about AI here. So traditionally, all the systems like ERP, MES, supply chain systems, CRM, whatever, they built with a deterministic approach, whereas AI gives you probabilistic approach. Now, AI gives the probabilistic approach, but it is not applicable everywhere. It cannot be applied. For example, if you are doing an accounting, you cannot apply probabilistic approach in the invoice preparation. It is not possible, because nobody will accept if there is a 5 rupee, 10 rupee difference also in the invoice, nobody will accept it. That has to be deterministic. Okay. So the traditional systems, whatever you are using, they will stay in the deterministic model. And then on top of it, probabilistic approach, which is AI will do, both sit together. And then if they have a combined approach by using LLMs and RAG. So they can have a AI native solutions. So which, if you need more questions, and I can answer that as we go on. Okay. Now the key points. Let us take two separate: supply chain and manufacturing. Let us separate them. Let us look into uh, take a deep dive into that. Okay. So there will be questions in CEO's mind. I'll skip this also. So this is a typical supply chain and automotive. You have original equipment manufacturer like Kia, okay, which is 50 kilometers from my location at this moment. Okay. So then you have all your tier 1 suppliers located near Anantapur or Chennai or where. Okay, and then you have a tier 2 suppliers. Okay, and then there are global tier N suppliers also come in. Then you have your distribution centers, dealers, then customers. So very complex supply chain. Within the complex itself, it's very, very complex supply chain. Okay. So what is the key challenges for the supply chain? Okay. So if you see this part, so how can AI shift supply chains from being cost driven to value driven and resilient in today's uncertain world? So these are the top questions, top 3 questions for the executives. They should answer this. Okay. So they should ask themselves these questions, like what role does AI play in creating visibility and trust across global and complex supply chain networks? So if you need to pick one area where AI can deliver most immediate impact, what is it? So this is a question for supply chain executives. So when you talk about manufacturing executives, so how do you see AI changing traditional definition of excellence? So now manufacturing people known for some kind of methodologies like TPM, Toyota principles, lean manufacturing, Six Sigma. There are plenty. We can talk very detailed maybe in some other time. So what does that mean in the AI era? What is it manufacturing excellence you mean? Okay. So how the right balance of human expertise and AI can be used? Beyond efficiency, how the AI can help manufacturers to achieve. Whether it could be in the product design, product manufacturing, and the customer service. How do that? So the question is, so how the overall adoption? Now, AI adoption is a bigger problem. First of all, is the company ready to embark into AI journey? How does the people react to it? And how you use AI technology to do innovation across all the value chain? Whether it could be a product design, it could be R&D, it could be manufacturing, it could be distribution, it could be customer service, it could be customer experience. Okay. Then the fourth question is, how does that future outlook look like? Okay, what is from now? What is the 10 years outlook for your company? Whether it could be a manufacturing or supply chain. How does that factory and supply chains transform next 5 to 10 years? This is one important question. Okay. So now to answer those questions, to see supply chain, there are plenty of opportunities present. Okay. There are plenty of opportunities. Some of them I just list here. Okay. So in supply chain, there are 3 important things. It should be prediction, responsive, and resilience. So resilience nowadays with this West Asia war, so resilience is becoming a #1 priority for anybody. Now we are all facing that, this work from home and other, because of this resilience in supply chains. Nobody even thought about what is going to happen. Okay, I just gave a session with somebody. We talked about supply chain resilience. Okay, so maybe I can share some insights, some model, how to do this supply chain risk assessments. So here, when you talk about supply chain, forecasting and planning, resilience and risk, logistics optimization, inventory optimization, sustainability, enabling systems, all these are some key opportunities where you can use AI. Okay. Then when you talk about manufacturing, okay, so the key opportunities here, efficiency driven to intelligence driven manufacturing, guys. So how to do the zero defect manufacturing, predictive, risk, safe kind of thing. So operational efficiency is single most important pain for any manufacturing company. So this is almost always a priority for them. So how can you use that? So connected machines and intelligence. Majority of machines, I have seen so many machines, they generate a lot of data, but this data is staying in silo, and maybe it is staying in the machine itself, and it is never used. Okay, now there are so many machines like CNC machines or lathe machines or whatever you call. Okay, so there is a lot of data generated. Nobody is caring. Even the data like power consumption, the maintenance, all this data is available, but nobody is using. There are several protocols like OPC, UA protocol. So, but it's not. They are not using it. So this is one area, biggest improvement it can be there. Quality. See, quality control is not just saying that this product is good or bad. There are a lot of things involved in this. Okay, so when you talk about, I'll give an example, real time. So one of my client is Clima Vinita, so who are Mitsubishi Electric. They produce cooling solutions for the large data centers and theaters. And so here, what is the main problem is, so they produce a product, they do the quality check multiple times, and they give it to the customers. Then when the customers start using it, if there is any problem, if there is any part broken or there is any maintenance issue, they come back to the manufacturing leaders. Guys, this is a problem. This should be covered in your maintenance contract or maybe in the warranty. So how do you know that is it covered in the warranty or not? So how do you know? So your manufacturing unit should be in a position to make explicitly very clear that the quality is tested for this product and this is the result and this is the outcome. So you don't have it is not really a manufacturing issue, it's your issue. So warranty is not applicable. If you don't do that, you will lose a lot of percentage of your revenues because of this, and you cannot say anything. So because of this, the quality management is becoming biggest, one of the most important domain for the manufacturing guys. So production, quality, and when it comes to pharma, one of our clients, so they use the pharma quality is number one. Okay, so it is very, very important that quality compliance over gives a higher priority over manufacturing, which is not reality, but that's how. So quality people almost always dominate manufacturing in pharma. So likewise, so there is a tremendous opportunity in quality. AI can be used. Predictive maintenance. So total TPM. So this is one of the very important and very much required, especially for India, because in India, many companies that they import machines, already used machines like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years used machines. So they need a very, very serious maintenance. Okay. And then energy. So energy consumption is one of the most expensive. So you need to use it. Likewise, there are so many areas where you can do that. Overcoming challenges. That means you need to ready mentally and how to adopt and how to seek the value. Okay. How does it look like next 5 to 10 years? So how does that so there are some things like hyper automation, like AI plus robots plus IoT, okay, and digital twins. Digital twins is very important. I'll show you one sample what we have, our digital twin for warehousing. Okay, so human AI collaboration, sustainability and ESG. So environmental social governance. Now, if you want to have a manufacturing unit and if you are looking for any investor, so your ESG score should be very high. Okay. Earlier, only the governance part was taken care. Environmental and social part was not really taken care. Okay. So now if you want any investor or somebody come and invest in your company, You need to, your environmental, social, and governance score should be very good. Otherwise, people don't invest. There is a reason for that. Okay, so that is completely a different topic altogether. Okay, so likewise, so this is how the future outlook look like. Okay, so any questions at this stage? Okay, so let us take the technology stack. So what is the technology? I'll just use this. So how does that technology in manufacturing and supply chain stack? Okay, so we have a data layer. So to do the data layer, your IoT and IIoT sensors, data sources like ERP, MES, Edge, and cloud storage. So how do you store? It has its own challenges. So data processing. Okay, so how do you manage your data flows? Okay, how do you do that? AI and analytics layer. So how do you take the data and make a meaningful information? Okay. Then you have application layer where all your supply chain manufacturing applications take up. And then security. This is very important. Security is nowadays is very crucial. And if you don't follow right approach, then you will have a bigger issue with the security and governance. And then user collaboration. So how does that users work in this environment? So these are the, in general, top technology stack you need to really worry about when it comes to manufacturing and supply chain. Okay, of course, digital twin. There are two kind of digital twins. One is supply chain digital twin. There is a manufacturing digital twin. Now, people don't really understand what is the digital twin means. I'll give an example. So when you talk about digital twins, there are three kind of digital twins. So one is asset twin, process twin, supply chain twin. So asset twin means if you have a large machine with you, this same larger machine can be digitized and viewed in the system instead of opening it, so you can see it. So if you open your machine, then you can do the same thing, the digital twin. Okay, and then you can assess what is the problem with this machine. For example, you have acquired maybe a very expensive machine from China or from Germany. You have a problem with this, and you cannot bring the technician immediately. So this digital twin will help you to diagnose the problem of the machine. So this is one. This usually the original equipment manufacturer will provide. The second one is the process twin. Process twin means how is your business process going on? So what is your order to cash? What is your procure to pay? How does this business processes are going on? You need to have a complete visibility online at any given time. What is it? Majority of problem in the businesses because they don't have process controls. Machines they do have for consumption. Okay. So likewise, supply chain twin. So it is not only about your company, it's your vendors and their vendors. How does that your supply chain look like? So these are the three type of digital twins you have. Okay. So you need to know exactly what is your key pain area, and then what kind of digital twin you look for. Similarly, in the manufacturing also. Okay. So you have a process twin, and then factory. So how does that your factory look like? A virtual model of entire plant. So how can we look into it? So using the technologies like computer vision or quality AI or whatever you use it. So we can get the whole lot of digital twin for manufacturing. Just Outlook design, I just made it as part of our design to give my team. So it looks like this. For this machine, in case if you put your cursor on the machine, a pop-up will come that will show the complete story of your machine, what is going on, kind of thing. And then you can see what is your energy consumption, what is your quality, likewise. Okay, so this is just an example. How does your look like? And we have this is it's a complete. I just got it from I don't know the source, but I got it from somebody, and I really liked it because we have MES, ERP, warehouse management, and then transportation solutions, inventory management kind of thing. So it touches our requirement. Okay, so very quickly, this is about us. We have strategy solutions, manufacturing execution solutions, and warehouse and logistics solutions. We do some consulting and services. Okay. So any questions? I'll take it up. Before that questions, maybe I'll just show you something. Okay, very quickly. Okay, so I do have. Okay, so when we do the research, what is it? The solutions we want to optimize. Okay. So just how many are there now in the session? Yeah. So if you are able to see my screen, Excel file. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are able to see my screen.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to go Excel file. Are you able to see the Excel file?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let us take up some list of applications where you can really build some AI or IoT solutions. So when you talk about warehousing, so like some applications like put away process means you take the materials, receive and put it in the right locations. So this is one of the put away and picking are the two major problems in the warehousing. It takes a lot of time and resources. And if you don't do it properly, you will have a bigger problem. Okay. So likewise, so you have many, many areas where you can really apply AI tools. And these are some pain areas in warehousing. And when you talk about manufacturing, so basically, production scheduling is one area, especially production scheduling uh, at the day level. Okay, the real so production plan they do a weekly, monthly, but production schedule every day. So this is one area where it is a high priority in the shop floor control. So how do you control your shop floor? So quality. Okay. So there are many areas where you can really optimize your operations. Then when you talk about transportation, there are multiple areas, opportunities where your route can be planned, your load optimization. This is almost always the load optimization is a problem. If you have a full truckload or less than full truckload, then you have a problem. If you have a less than truckload LTL, you have a problem. So likewise, there are fuel consumption. There are many other things which you can adopt. In supply chain planning, okay, so you have a demand forecasting, network optimization, inventory optimization. There are some areas where you can use your supply chain, your AI tools. Supply chain optimization. See, optimization is one area where people don't really pay attention. Okay, so use linear programming kind of things to optimize your supply chain operations. This is one important area, but it is somewhat neglected area, I can say, that people don't, very rarely people read about very detailed about operations research. You might have your subject in your graduation or in post graduation. Since this operation research topic is very crucial, with AI it will become more crucial because all those models what you have done, what you have read, you don't need to do it manually. AI will do that. But only thing is you need to know how to use them. For example, if you are doing any linear programming problem to be solved, so what is your objective function? So what are your components and what is your output? Okay, so what is your constraints? So you need to frame this equation. The moment you frame the equation, any AI can solve this problem. So likewise, this is one key area where supply chain optimization can be done. Okay, so so this is exactly what I'm talking about. So when you do supply chain optimization, we can do. So supply chain operations. So you can do the supply chain operations. So some use cases here. Okay, supply chain optimization where you use linear programming like time series, machine learning kind of thing. Okay, so you can use them, and this is very important and it's very easy to use it also. Okay. Then you can use agents. Of course, when you talk about AI and you don't talk about AI agents, it is not complete. So you use agents to solve your operational and other problems. Then you have IoT. So this is very important. So how do you connect all your IoT use cases? Okay, so you use, and this is one of the area where there is a tremendous potential to help organizations and also to do that. Okay, so there are tremendous. So okay, so I published this somewhere in my LinkedIn. So if you are interested, I can share the link to just to watch it. Okay, so let me uh, share something else. What else I do have? I think that's basically my key presentation today. Okay, so I would like to take up some questions. That's better because we use the rest of 10-15 minutes. Okay, so to use your questions. Yeah, please feel free, listen, because I don't know really what is the level of your technology or business expectations you are expecting from me. Please feel free. You can ask your questions, and then maybe I can show something relevant also. I have something to show you also in case if you don't have any questions. Okay, so let me do that. Okay, let me try again. I did kept some open. Yeah, this is one of our supply chains. So we do have applications. Okay. So when we talk about strategy management, so we talk about all whatever you just heard. So we have like something like a explorer. So I think when I explore, okay, so maybe do it here again. So I'll just tell you that how does that AI will do proper things. So for example, when you are doing a pestle analysis, this is one of the external analysis. So you can give all the data and then you can pull factor. The system generates a prompt also, and then it will appropriately select what LLM should be used, whether it is internal LLM or external LLM, and then it will process the data and then you can edit it. So for example, if you generate something like that, so you produce very realistic data likewise. Okay, so you get for a particular organization. This is the organization where I worked long back. So I generated it. It is very close, very like 80 and 90% very close. So how does likewise you can use them and you can do any strategy analysis kind of thing. You can also do knowledge management part using AI. You can do storytelling, okay, and something like demand forecasting. So anybody is doing demand forecasting through AI. So I'll just show you something. Okay. So let us see here. So this is the data set what we have. Okay. So for this data set, I want to generate for 12 periods. For example, I run the demand forecast. So what you can connect to any system. So earlier when I was doing a supply chain, maybe long back, 2001, 2002. So when I was head of supply chain at that time, okay, so we used to do this manually in Excel, like using exponential smoothing or any other things, and where alpha value we assume like 0.1, 0.2, okay, likewise. So at that time, it was very smart way to do it. But now with the AI, all those things can be done automatically. Okay, likewise, the system generates, okay, the data very easily for 12 periods, likewise. and it will give you, this is the flow. And now you can see the forecasting models. Okay, so you can choose whatever model. Earlier, if you use exponential smoothing, you consider as one of the good supply chain guy. But now the AI can do all. For example, Holzwinter. So you can see it. So how does that Holzwinter data look like? The system generates everything, and also it will give you better picture. How does it look? And the thing is, it also calculates alpha value, beta value, gamma values. So earlier we used to do assumptions for this. With AI, if you, in the code, if you write it, that please calculate alpha value, beta value, gamma value, then it will calculate also. Okay, so you exactly know what is going on. So likewise, this is one area where, and the World Bank has given some libraries. So you can do the external analysis also to the your forecast. For example, if you're doing international trade and you do the forecasting of some imports and exports. So you can use demand forecasting with Pestel. That library, if you connect, it will correct your forecast. Likewise. Okay. So I'll just do something. Maybe there is an inventory management. See, server is stopped. So let me, okay. So when we have machine integrations, like for example, in AI agent, like this is a machine integrator module of attachment to our manufacturing execution system. When you click AI agent, you choose whatever plants you use. Okay, so I stopped it for a long time. I'm not sure whether I have to relog in it, kind of thing. So how does it look like is, so when you have something, okay, so I need to relog in. Okay. Good. Yes, somehow. Somebody. Check some time. So I'll just let me check. There is another. Okay. So by the time it opens, no problem. You let it open. Takes a minute because it's completely a module. What we recently added to our manufacturing execution system. Okay, we'll see. Okay. So I think this is the session what I wanted to show you. Maybe I will just show some sample. Because I kept it open for long. Now it's like it. Okay. So see that. Okay, so I would like to show some digital twin concept. Okay, maybe I'll just check my user credentials once again. Okay. So meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, let us do that. I'll show you one warehouse layout where this is done very nicely. I'll just take my credentials here. I have it, by the way, here. Okay, so let me, I'm just opening. I will show you something. Yeah, luckily I logged in. I'll show you something. Share the screen again. Okay. So this is the warehouse supply chain solution. There is something called layout. So this layout means is some sort of digital twin where you can look at it, then you can find any product. So you search for it. Okay. So for example, you search for it, you can get where is it, where the product looks like, and what level it is there. So what is your total quantity in the supply chain in the overall warehouse? You can see it. This is exactly similar to your physical warehouse, where you can see the overall what you can say. What is your overall cubicle volumetric utilization kind of thing. So what is your spaces? So you can use it, number of locations. There are plenty of features here. You can also do a process here. What is expired products? Everything you can do it from this. So this is some sort of high level digital twin. We call this as a process twin for the warehouse. Okay. And everything, this is for access for the managers. They can do it for them, and then they can try it. They can know what is exactly going on in the warehouse and in the multiple warehouses. So you can have all your list of warehouses in your supply chain. Then you can look into it. You can find out all your supply customers, everything, locations, even your vendors' locations also can be available. So you can know exactly what is your inventory, what is your orders, what is your capacity, and what is the expiry, and what is the overall space available. Everything online immediately. So this is one thing which I wanted to just quickly show you. Okay. Yeah, I think I am done. Sanjana, other Eduinx team. Okay, so
Hi, sir.
I'm open to questions.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. Ibrahim this side. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
You mentioned there is a challenge on quality management with regards to Mitsubishi products. So I just wanted to know how the FMEA results are impacting with this AI technology. So
Yeah,
I
see
have
here basically, you first of all, there is I would like to show you that also the quality process. It's very
Mhm.
rigorous. I know you are talking about failure mode and
Yeah,
effect
risk mitigation
analysis.
or
Uh,
RCA, whatever.
yeah, it is okay. The concept is same, but what they have done is they have identified critical components within their product, which usually they fail.
Mhm.
Okay, so for each component, they are recording complete set of data, quality data. Maybe I'll show you that also. I have access. Okay,
Yeah.
then they record the results also in form of data tables and pictures, and that all the things are available to the customer also at any given time, so they can have an access. So when they get the product delivery, they know the data, they have the complete visibility of the usually the products, the components which they get failed. Okay, the components which they don't get failed, they're not worried. Okay, so if any further components they fail, they add it. So that's how they keep 5 to 10 year data in place, and then they challenge customer that because of this, okay, so because of this quality data and all, so it is the warranty does not apply. It is your fault, utilization problem. So you have to pay. So it solves actually two problems. One problem is there is no ambiguity from customer to manufacturer. The second thing is customer has a high level trust. Okay, now I have everything visible. There is no question that we go out of there is no question that we don't agree on things. So this is one of the problem, not only in Mitsubishi, everywhere on all our plants. Quality, they need to be very very proper. Otherwise, it will become a big problem. Okay, it's not only about product delivery. Of course, product delivery is important. The good product. Apart from that, the customer complaints and all, it's one of the big area. And complaints, if there is an accident happens because of that, that's a bigger, much more a bigger issue. Yeah. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
So any questions, ladies and gentlemen? I'm out of time. So first of all, I would like to know, is that something relevant for you? I don't know your backgrounds and all. So I hope this makes sense for you. Mhm.
Yes, sir. And this was relevant to us.
Good, good. That's
Yes.
something. Mhm.
Sir, have a personal question, sir. Like it's a like what is your advice for a startup? Like I'm working with a startup and they don't have much budget for the AI tools. So, what is your suggestion? Like how we can go with the AI with the limited funds or to manage the things?
Yeah, that is
Firstly, about
something that
yes,
is very tricky question, Mohit. Okay. I know everybody would like to solve the problems. I think my personal advice is try to identify the real problem. Okay. Try to
okay, sir.
really identify the real problem, what customer is facing. Okay. And then try to come up with a solution. Okay. You need to at least validate your hypothesis thoroughly before venturing into this. I have done the same mistake, by the way. So I was under impression that because of all those experiences, when we start product development, okay, so at least 50% of our products what we build are not very useful. The reason is we thought that this is good, and we talked to some people, but do a proper assessment. Okay, number first thing what you need to do is it a real problem? If you solve this problem, what is it the benefit customer going to get? And this is very standard way. And the most important is if you give the solution, is customer willing to pay for it?
Okay, sir.
Any of these questions have something wrong, then you need to validate. So usually what happens is people when you ask, yeah, this is a nice solution, we have a problem. But when you want to sell them, they will not pay. Okay. So I
Yes,
think you honestly validate this. Okay. Then you work backwards. So what is the solution you are going to build and how much it costs you? And you need to take help here. Okay. And AI is not cheap, by the way. Okay. So for doing a simpler things is okay, but if you want to really invest, do it. My advice is don't go only by wrappers. Okay. Apart from wrapper, there should be something very solid to hook so that it will be your IP. That's idea. If you put wrapper, what happens is these like cloud and all, they are releasing wrappers just like that. Okay, so it will be absolutely. For example, I'll just tell you. I'll tell you one real example. Demand forecasting was one of the main area, right? So 2 years back, when our AI engineers did all those libraries, built the demand forecasting module and everything. Okay, so at the end, after releasing Chat GPT and other things, we realized that it's not going to help. Okay, because the same data, if you give to Chat GPT, it will give you out. Maybe more or less same. Okay, so that's not enough. Having a wrapper is not enough. So you need to have some kind of connectivity where you solve this problem, like data capturing, physical data capturing, like a device where you partner. You don't have to build everything. You partner with the ecosystem. So build ecosystem is that. That's what I can do.
got it. Thank you so much, sir.
So any questions? Please feel free. This is happy to answer. We run out of time. So yeah, if there is no question, yeah, we can wrap it up. And please feel free if you really need anything. You can write to me. You can connect me on LinkedIn. Post questions. I'll try to help you as much as I can do that. Okay. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you, Eduinx.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
I hope I will be very happy to share any very detailed technology presentations If you would like to see it like ERP or whatever, so definitely do that at any given time. Okay. So thank you very much and have a good night. Okay.
Sure, sir. Thank you once again, sir, for your valuable time and inspiring words. Your insights and experience have truly motivated us and given us a better understanding. We are grateful for your presence today and look forward to applying the knowledge we gained from this session. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of this wonderful guest talk.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Have a good night.
Thank you, sir.